Hello and good evening and welcome to Hall H. I am Scott O Green and with me is David Fleming. This is episode 42, I believe, of I'd Rather Be Motivated. This is our weekly art check-in show where we get together to talk all things comics, but specifically where David and I are both at with our progress, problems, and our plans. How you doing, David?
Pretty good, man. It's been a really good week. We didn't really have a topic to talk about, but we both kind of agreed it's kind of all good because we both feel like we have some good stuff to share.
Absolutely. We've been talking about those boulders, trying to push to get our next projects going and everything, and needing that swing and momentum. And I think we're both feeling it. So just sort of getting into the art check and talking about where we're at with stuff seemed like it made the most sense. So if you're out there, any questions you have for us, throw them our way. We're happy to throw that stuff in from the comments section as well. And if you're there, please like, subscribe, and share it around to folks. Let them know that we're here. All right. Mr. David, as always at the top of the episode, where can people find your work when you're not here chatting with me on YouTube?
Well, you guys know the drill. You got to go over to Instagram at Art of Mr. Fleming or Mr. David Fleming on Facebook, the link tree and other links and all that kind of stuff to get to my shop, to buy Analog Missions, the current passion project. Issue 1 came out this year. And I'm currently working on some concepts of a character redesign kind of thing for issue 2. I'll talk about when we get into that. But yeah, you're going to find me on Instagram for sure, though. Art of Mr. Fleming, it's where I put in the most work. How about you, man?
For me, same thing. Instagram, I'm very active there. Mr. Green Draws. That's mr.greendraws. And especially, once again, now that we got momentum going, I'm going to have a lot of stuff going on there. But also find us at I'dRatherBeDrawing.com. And also on Facebook, I'd Rather Be Drawing. So check us out. We got free comics on the website there and links to our Etsy shops and everything else. So check it out. So yeah, we swiped from the 48-hour art check from Joshua Kemble and Corey Kerr, the progress, problems, and plans report. And it seems like a good structure to start with. And something, well, that we'll come to that in, well, no, I guess that kind of pertains now. Something in I'd Rather Be Drawing sort of phase 2 that we talked about in the last couple episodes was the three-pronged effect of not just what we're working on, but what we're working on kind of concerning the website, so I'd Rather Be Drawing, ourself as artists and everything that goes along with that, and then specifically our comics. But yeah, anyway, progress, David, how you doing?
Yeah, so what were the two things I have written down that I quoted was formatting the comic digitally, and then finishing the pencils of page 1, like officially getting in and making some marks for one of the pages. And I did it, yeah. As of, I think it was Friday night or Saturday, my whatever session I sat down to draw, I finished my pencil. Oh, I finished my penciling actually pretty early. It was the first thing I did last week because I was so stoked from our talk. And then sat down on my computer and kind of did a little bit of work throughout the week and then finished it all up on Saturday. I have now that I've done one issue, I was able to I don't have to spend time sitting there formatting what cover page will look like, inside cover page will look like, inside cover, all that kind of stuff. So I was able to copy almost all of it and then just kind of redesign, slap in a different color or a different image that I've already drawn of the different focus of whatever this next book is and kind of go from there. So that was really cool because I could make a PDF right now of about 5 pages, and I've drawn the first of the actual comic part of it. So it's I've hit the inside part of the actual design of book 2 already, and that feels good.
Yeah, I saw some of those designs you've been putting up, man. They're looking pretty sharp, getting people pumped about book 2.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I posted the cover this last week too, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And then for, what would it be? Wednesday's post, I'm going to do a little side-by-side comparison of issue 1's cover to issue 2's cover, kind of like a fun, it's coming. So I am really excited for what I've been working on, what I got down the pipeline, that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's just really exciting. Usually, I don't know, I'm in a weird place, which I'm sure now that I talk about it, it'll be what I do. But when I'm really passionate, I just want to talk about it. Right now, I'm in a place where I'm so passionate, I just want to be working on it. All I can really think about is ooh, actually, what I need to do is this, what I need to do is that. And I need to sit down. I don't know. I've been in a really good thinking zone lately. Like it takes a different place for me to put myself in the zone where like I know I need to be thinking about what I'm going to be doing versus like just sitting down to draw.
Yeah, I think I kind of identify with that. I think that's why I've had some problems myself with kind of getting into the mindset for being a writer, because I have ideas and I can make art, but translating into written form clearly has been a little bit of a hurdle for me, and I really can't just turn that on quite as easily as some of the penciling and things like that. So I feel like I can identify with that. Any other progress reports?
Well, I tried to sit down earlier this week. Also, I guess it would have been earlier. It would have been yesterday or even today. One of the things I've been talking about in the past couple of episodes is like for Apollo missions, it tells the story in 3 parts: the sort of before, during, and after of a big event that sort of caused the world that you're getting to know. And in each time frame, I want my characters to look distinctly different, but distinctly meaning like you can just tell, like you don't have to like pop up 8 years later every single time that the thing has changed. It would just be like, oh yeah, he's wearing that mask now. He wears that mask in that time period, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been having a little bit of a struggle with redesigning what Apollo's character is going to look like in the future, because he is going to don like a completely different mask in the new one, which is just like a fun like way of like knowing him from what he was in issue 1 to this stuff that you're going to find out about him. And so that's what I'm doing right now, actually, is I decided to just go in a completely crazy direction. Like I kind of did a really quick doodle with a little bit of difference up here. Like this is just subtle differences up here. And I'm just kind of going crazy now. I'm just kind of like, remembering that I originally designed him based on a skull. So I'm just kind of going back to those roots and seeing like what other things I can do differently that might still feel like him. And so that's a fun thing. I tried that a little bit yesterday to no avail. I kind of scrapped all those ideas, but now I'm kind of working back based off of things I thought kind of worked to see what I can do moving forward. So that is moving a little bit into my plans for next week, but that's kind of like, that's where I ended. I'm also working on that rest of that commission that I feel like I mentioned it in the last episode, which is that like I had a commission from a person that I knew was going to give it to me, but they didn't give me like a full description of what they wanted yet because they weren't still sure, and they did, and I have been working on that. So
yeah. Plus, you posted your Hollow Knight.
Yes, yeah. That is what I did. I was like, I know I worked on art stuff on Friday, but I don't think it was that. Yeah. I got in the zone. My wife has never seen the Men in Black movies.
Mm-hmm.
And with the new one coming out, she's like, I never really have seen those. And I was kind of like, what? Because like personally, it's almost like I don't know if you call it guilty pleasure because I'm not really embarrassed about it, but I freaking love Will Smith. And so I made her watch those. And since I've already seen them, I got with my pad on my lap in like a zone while we were like watching the first one and just like crunched that thing out. And it felt really good.
Well, it looked good, and I liked your post about kind of talking about some of the different things that you were learning through it. And I thought that was pretty cool. So, and our kind of 3-pronged effect, what David's described so far, is obviously the work on his comic with analog missions, and then like client work, and then like the commission, and even that thing where it was basically a commission for himself. I think just a fan art piece that he can use for selling a print if he wants to, or just to kind of learn on. But that's our kind of idea of the art specific part. So and then David also had already been doing a lot of stuff on our website, so I think we kind of counted that as I had to kind of get caught up in that 3rd prong part of it or whatnot. But that's pretty cool progress, man. In the chats, Squatchy gave you a shout out, said David's killing it, said dude's got a hell of a drive.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, actually, shout out to him too. I believe, is he in the middle of, or did he just finish? Is he 100 days of making right now?
I believe Squatch, you've made it through your 100 days now, haven't you? There's been a slew of folks doing it, which is awesome, and it's kind of hard keeping up. But not only is he doing that, but he's an awesome tattoo artist and posts that stuff all the time. And
Yeah,
it's
man.
all these like amazing paintings that he's been doing. So follow Squatchy Inc. Or any one of his monikers. Once you find him, you'll like what you see because he's got a lot there. And Ace, congratulations, by the way, man. I've seen some of those posts. I'm pretty excited for you. Not only you got a Kickstarter going, but got a bun in the oven as well, it looks like. Is that right, David?
Yeah, he's going to be the first pregnant male. He's just trying to get rid of the comic at this point because he's going to be so famous he's not going to need a comic anymore.
Well, second, right? Arnold Schwarzenegger, then Ace. All right.
But he assured me that it's not a tumor.
Nice. Good to hear. Good to hear. A couple things real quick. Ace also said in true Ace fashion, which is actually kind of an awesome idea, give Apollo a teardrop tattoo for the future. And then Vigo Megalitis the third. I'm sorry, I don't know if I said that right at all. But they're on here with us. I appreciate you joining us. It says, have you seen State Property 2? I have not. Have you, David?
I have not seen that.
Please tell us more. Fill us in.
Yeah, feel free to comment a little bit more about that, and we'll jump back on here later and we'll check that out.
And then Ace said that his life is loosely based off the movie Junior, so that makes sense.
Yeah, I can vouch for that.
Anyway, man, did you have any other progress to report?
No, I think that's it. Yeah, I had a really busy week. I killed it, and it felt really good. So yeah, I will pass that over to you.
Very cool. I'd like to be better about having some photos taken and ready so I can kind of screen share some of the stuff I've been working on a little bit better and have it ready to show. But one of the things as far as the art side of things goes for me was I have a few commissions to do from the Kickstarter I was just a part of with 100 Days of Making Comics. It's called Werewolves and Unicorns and Other Mythical Creatures, and we just kickstarted, and it's going to be shipping very soon. But I had posted a thing to help sell a few more books in my sorry, I'm saying a lot. The break room at work, I posted a flyer that said anybody from my job that bought a book, I would do a free commission for them. I thought it'd be fun and incentive and practice for me, which is all those things. So I've gotten 2 of those done. My goal, I had kind of written to have those 2 that I had penciled last time completely inked and ready to go by tonight. And then I also kind of wrote in parentheses to kind of push myself another one penciled. I didn't quite get another one penciled, even started, really, to be quite honest with you. But I've got the photo reference that the guy wants for it. So that's the beginning, right? The Mad Hatter I really dug. And if you go to my Instagram page, the Mr. Green Draws, you'll be able to see that one. And then, David, you haven't seen this one, but I was just kind of finishing it up. I don't know how well it'll show here on screen, but I did a Miles Morales Spider-Man with.
Ooh, I love how you even did the little, like, it's almost like his spray paint costume from the movie.
Yeah, and he's got the the Kirby crackle in the background as an ode to the old and the new or whatnot. So
yeah, I love.
Try to get a good photo of that, man. I'm pretty proud of it. Finished that up with the color today. I feel like really anytime if you go with an aesthetic that's red, black, and white, it's going to come out looking pretty sharp.
Oh yeah, I cannot even explain how much I love the just simple aesthetics of that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. And what's up, Ronnie? Nice to see you there in the chat, brother. I miss your face. Glad you're here with us. So I got those 2 commissions done. The other one, I don't have it here because I already gave it to the other person at work and posted about that. I think also on our I'd Rather Be Drawing Facebook page. And let's see here. So the next thing, comic specific. You've heard me talking about. I'm working on October, my pumpkin-headed Halloween monster adventure comic thing. It's going to be the longest comic I've made so far to date. And what I wanted for that, I'm going through and scripting and refining and Xing out and adding in and just doing all those parts now, but didn't really have a good idea for where it went for the end. Well, I know that now, so I'm pretty excited about that. So I have kind of in my yellow legal pad here, starting at the front, it goes through and it starts with the setting. So the first one, Cactus, Farm, Pumpkin Patch, and then any of the main characters that I draw, besides like background people or whatever, I write there, and then the bullet points of what happens, kind of the story beats, and then divide up by how many pages I know the book will be, as a rough guideline of the rhythm of where everything will go. But now I kind of know the beginning to end of their adventure, which is kind of the main part, and it's given me an idea for the sort of second story, the interweaving tale that will go along. So it won't just be them the whole time. It'll flash to another part, but I've got those ideas going now. So I'm pretty excited to report some progress on that, because I haven't been disparaging too much, but it has taken me longer to get to this point than I would have liked. But really trying to do the hard parts and script it out and really design that part of it. Not like world building endlessly or anything, but yeah, just trying to do it the right way. I also, for 100 Days of Making Comics, this one kind of popped up, but we ended up at a stretch goal where we're printing a few more pages to do an old style kind of letters section where people could write in to the artist and everything. A little bit different and a little bit more fun, since people haven't actually read the comic yet, to write in. But people who backed the Kickstarter did have an opportunity when they fill out their survey to write a letter if they wanted. And one of the people wrote a fun one to my main character, Gentleman Jeff Gentry. So it was fun. They asked me to go ahead and kind of write a response to that. So that was fun getting to design that thing. And it's not a very long response, but you really got to sit and figure out exactly what you're going to say regarding it. So that was a lot of fun concerning that. So that kind of takes care of comics and art. As far as I'd rather be drawing and what I've been doing on that, I've got a few different to switch around, but one for sure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 kind of t-shirt ideas. Not full out designs, some a little bit more than others. I don't know how well that can really be seen. Some more than others, some just ideas where I got it down real quick. But that will be, I think, a fun venture for me. And take a drink here just real fast, sorry.
Do it like gulp right into the microphone for me.
Boom. How's that?
That was like the most cartoonish, like.
I try. My life is a cartoon. Not quite junior, but But anyway, I think this will be a fun avenue, along with some of these commissions and some of the fan art pieces that you'll see coming up again here soon. This will be a fun way, I think, for me to kind of learn coloring, where it's not quite so big and sprawling and needing a final big, fully rendered and colored, comic book all at once, because that's kind of a big part of stuff that I haven't really delved into too much. So it'll be fun to do some digital coloring and designing t-shirts and learning Photoshop to color, and also just to do simple things like design a one-color t-shirt design there that we can post to the website, print on demand type thing. But I think that I'd rather be drawing is a pretty cool sentiment that a lot of us artists share and can identify with, and especially some of the different ideas I have. Took a cue from Cartoonist Kayfabe. If this was a drinking game, me mentioning 48-hour art check, 3-point perspective, or Cartoonist Kayfabe would earn a shot. So drink. But they have a lot of fun with it. It's not just they have their one shirt. If they get an idea, they design it, put it up on Threadless, and wear one, and promote it on the show, and then they see people wearing them at cons. Now, we know we're that big, but we know a lot of folks here, and a lot of folks making art. And like I said, I think that could go far. So anyway, excited about all that stuff. So like I said, I'm right there with you. Our cycles are in sync once again, because I'm feeling good as far as creativity goes.
Awesome.
How about problems, man? What did you face this week that was a hurdle or just a thorn in your side?
This week was pretty seamless, but I would say my biggest problem is that weeks of high productivity like that are usually followed by little bits of slumps. So I just got to keep it up. I found my stride and I got to keep it. So I'd say problem would just be foreseeing that usually happens. So just nipping that in the butt before it happens. And then, like I said, I sat down to do this earlier last week and it wasn't successful. And I don't even know if I don't know. I'm having the hardest time trying to take this character that I made. I've had this plan for him to look almost completely different, but kind of the same since the beginning. And I don't know why I'm having the hardest time here, like trying to read, like especially for in terms of making characters. I usually don't do a lot of this when I make a character. I usually have a very solid idea in my brain. It takes me 1 or 2 renditions to just play with it till I'm like really comfortable with it, and then the more I draw it, kind of helps me learn it, kind of thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. The drawing of his mask for the future, which is like, I mean, there's only going to be flashbacks now when you see him not with it on. So I think that's probably why I think I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself here for this design and how good I think it has to be, kind of thing.
Fill that page, and by the end of it, you'll probably start having fun with it and be like, okay, so this is all not precious stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's an idea.
It's also a part of it. I'm bad at that. I'm bad at not precious. I've been working on that too. Like, if I knew this was precious, I'd probably be erasing and cleaning up and trying a little bit harder on it. I'm purposely kind of being in this is like my sloppiness here. Like, this is what I do when I know this doesn't need to do anything except inspire me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I do need to just fill up this page and then start a drawing that I will care about and then see where it takes me.
That makes sense.
But I do foresee that problem of just a lot of times, like my thing, like not to say that I just quit on things, but my thing when I get frustrated with this kind of stuff is usually to give up on it. And if I give up on it, you know, I mean, like put it aside and don't let it stress me out. But then sometimes that just becomes my excuse not to work in a given week. So I'm hoping to avoid that next week, knowing that I can easily get myself in that trap.
Well, even like with what you're doing here, like let's say you fill a page, but you're still not quite happy with it. You take that page to Rao or whoever else is around you, and you have a reference to be like, hey, what do you think of this? Any ideas? And, you know, whether it's a teardrop tattoo or whatever, you know, I don't know if it's what you're doing on the kind of middle right one. Yeah. It's a little bit fuzzy on my screen here, so it's hard to see, but it almost made me imagine like if you just had Apollo's mask, but imagine if a samurai did one of those like where you do like a diagonal swipe and like cut a zombie's, you know, head and then it like slides off to the side, you know?
Yeah.
So imagine like that had happened to them and they just took like a plain steel thing with no other eye, like an eye patch for a robot, but it's just like the cranium.
That is basically what is happening right there, yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking like that's like a patchwork, like a Terminator. But if you took that line that your pencil's on and just continue it in like a left from bottom right hand corner to top left hand corner direction,
like all the way up.
Yeah, but even like more like if a samurai took just like one steady like diagonal swipe and just shink, just right through like one clean line swipe. Anyway, it kind of looked like that for a second. And I was like, that's kind of rad. But anyway. Yeah, just pointing out like even those little things. Like when I finally kind of got things outlined with my script, it was like enough of a solid thing where I could like go to my wife and talk about certain parts of it. That kind of gives you like a solid thing where you can show it to somebody and get some feedback. And find a lot of times going through this, you know, you get some.
Not the worst idea to just maybe take a plate of my designs, clean up 3, and like post it to my Instagram on a poll or something.
Yeah.
Ask the audience. Definitely not against that.
There you go. I like it.
My problem is, like, let's see if I can even find it while you talk or whatever. I can see if I find it. But a long time ago, I did my redesign, but I made his mask like super, super different. I wonder if it's still. I think I posted it to my Instagram.
It was too different or something.
Well, yeah, and then I remember I sold it pretty quickly because it was a cool design. I don't have the physical anymore, but I think. Like I'm just remembering that I did this too. Like I'd kind of forgotten that. Like I had the thought of. Yeah, here it is. So I don't know. I think I can click and hold and it'll. Or yeah, Instagram. Let's use it. Scoop it in now. You see this here?
Yeah, I do remember that.
That was supposed to be kind of because the idea here is that this like. You know, in the issue 1, this isn't any spoiler for anyone who hasn't read it yet, but like his mask gets cracked and they repair it by like grabbing basically like a random medic mask, and that's why it looks so basic and like skull. The idea is like it's kind of like a temporary repair mask, and he takes that off and he puts a new one on, and so like the idea is like the structure underneath is still the same, but like what does this plate he puts back over his face afterwards look like, kind of thing. So This one was way more like when I was way more into the mechanicalness of my robots. And he actually doesn't have any eyes. It's just like these slits of like it's like this 3-line thing that I put on his mask, which I really enjoyed. Was just like the idea was that he just like painted it across his mask. So I don't know. Maybe I need to play with redesigning this because I drew this one almost a full year ago.
Yeah, just try drawing like the front view of it and see.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
And maybe, I mean, you actually have like a decent amount of all your stuff outlined pretty good, but just thinking, I wonder if that could be like a cool reveal in the first scene that he's in when he has his new mask. Is maybe you don't realize it's him at first until he reveals that special little thing that lets you know that it's him.
Yeah, that's true. That's a pretty cool idea.
You know, and then you're like, I remember, because I mean, in a lot of ways, especially with how you're playing with the masks and everything, like that, it's a spoiler thing, so I'm not trying to mention it, but that's kind of like his defining characteristic, so to speak, or the thing that makes him like unique or whatnot. But any Hoosters.
Yeah.
Very cool. So any other problems?
Nah. I give it over to you, man.
Cool. Things went pretty well. Not really a lot of problems. One other progress thing I forgot to mention is I also wanted to start on a list of different conventions in the area, and I've been asking around and searching a bit, and I've got a rough little list of those, so that as well. But anyway, as far as problems, if you noticed, I was going to post that this video, my Read More Comics, last Wednesday, and I didn't. So that's my problem. I don't like what I recorded, and I got an idea for a intro that I actually just finished recording when I kind of got on here with you to make sure my video was coming through, and I put it on mute. I set the computer aside and filmed this intro thing with kind of going through the stack of comics till I got to that at the bottom. So it was another thing where it kind of took me a while to get the idea. Like I knew I wanted to do the thing, and it's not a complicated show that I'm wanting to do. Just kind of showing everybody, hey, these are comic books, and there's all different kinds, and you can go to a shop near you and get them. But it is something that I got the idea of it, and the slogan, Read More Comics, once again, drink, comes from cartoonist kayfabe. So giving a shout out to those guys, and they have a tendency to really like read their mail and check out stuff that they're tagged in and look at it. And I'm like, I don't really want it to like I don't have to put it up on this pedestal and like make it like, oh, it's got to be perfect or anything. But what I had so far kind of sucked. So I wasn't really in a rush, and there's no real reason. I think we've got a lot of content on our channel at this point, and I was kind of thinking, I was the same idea that I had for when I did my 100 Days of Making Comics videos, which is just like, you just make a video. It doesn't have to be awesome, just get it done. I was like, just get something done, and then you'll make the next one, then it'll get better and everything. And that's true, but to a certain extent, I'm like, there's not a real great reason for me to post something that I'm not happy with. So I'll make it to where I'm happy with it and post it, and it'll work out.
Yeah, I mean, thinking about the fact that it's just going to be your first episode of the thing, like letting the first be bad and getting better from there is kind of, you know what I mean? Like, don't set yourself at the highest pedestal from the beginning.
Oh, for sure. And I really don't think it's that. It was just like, we have a lot of content, and I got this other idea. So I don't know. I kind of felt like it is an idea. With making videos, it's kind of like when you were drawing in the beginning, and you did the whole thing, and you're like, oh, I should have moved that hand over, but I'm too far now. So you just finish it, and you're like, ah. But like when you get older, you're like, oh, I can just erase that whole part of the body and draw it again. Or you can be like, it's not very good, so you can throw it away and draw it again. I feel like it's a bit more of that. So I think it's a good thing. We've got this going every week, and I'll get it done and post it. Like I said, it's not a complicated thing, and they'll actually, I think, be easier, because the first one is kind of I want an intro to kind of explain what it is and where it came from. And everything, and then after that, I think it'll just be much more of a, hey, how y'all doing? These are the books that I'm reading this week or whatever. So it's got to work out. But yeah, that's the biggest kind of problem thing I faced and dealt with. So how about plans, man? You want to stick to the 3-pronged effect thing and think of it that way?
Yeah, let's keep it going, man.
All right. So if you're ready, I don't know if you're like me. I've been like pushing so far to just see how far I could get for like this episode right here. I'm like, oh man, I haven't even thought about next week yet.
So plans would definitely be, and I do. So I have this struggle between knowing that like this idea that my book isn't necessarily huge or anything, and I kind of have a nice little following, and the people who come to see my stuff are dedicated, and I want to reward them, and so I like to show things, but I don't like to show. It's like the difference between like showing cool stuff and showing spoilers and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think I want to finish the design of Apollo because that's going to make me just feel better and ready to move on. But then, like, not post it probably. So I will clarify that I finished it if I do, because I do want that idea you talked about is the thing already that I've like kind of really wanted, which is like I definitely want to redesign this, but I also definitely don't want to like ruin any kind of like fun with how I'm going to play with you seeing him and that kind of stuff, kind of like you just said.
Mm-hmm.
So number one goal is character design, which I mean, honestly, who knows how many times I could sit down to do that and feel like I have to just keep going until I figure out a good one. So I don't know if I want to say any more goals besides that. I think I might have to just say I want to redesign Apollo and everything else is a bonus.
As far as like everything, like like that falls under the comics category. Is there anything you want for the art or IRBD for the week?
I did today, got home earlier than I thought and had extra time before the kids woke up, and I jumped on the YouTube channels. And I don't know if you ever move around on that and explore it or anything, but we have been really bad, and by we I mean me, since it's kind of like I've taken on that responsibility anyways and haven't ever expected you to do it. Taking every time we finish one of these episodes, actually putting it into the playlist and then updating the cover photo. And I updated the cover photo of like probably 10 ones that we haven't and put them into the playlist. So
that's huge. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
doing that
a few times, but since I don't know if I could just swipe it off of here, or I don't know. Since I didn't have the photo that you used for it, because you've put them all under like that, like what you play at the beginning, like I'd rather be drawn with the X, right?
Yeah, and then I've made like a little title credit that I like put an opacity on, kind of thing.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So yeah, you couldn't do that at all. Like, I mean, I don't expect you to do that. I just mean like playing with the design of the YouTube channel, making it look updated. That's like one of those things. It's really hard for me sometimes with the how many things we juggle, and then the YouTube channel is like the last thing I think of, because I get on, I make the event, we click live, we hang out with the dudes for the night, and then we wait till next week. But you're much better at being like on it throughout the week, And I think I need to get better at that, just like logging into the YouTube channel and being a little more active. When I watch a video, I like want to comment, but then I accidentally watch the video underneath my personal account and not this account, and then I'm like, oh, I can't leave. And then I feel like you're way better at being active in the community of the artists on YouTube that we interact with, and I think I need to get better at that. So I'm going to start by like doing updates on it more often.
Very cool. Well, you've already done some awesome updates today, which is awesome. So if you wanted just like a little thing for next week, maybe just interact a little bit on there. Like you've already done like a cool thing. So like a couple videos or comment on somebody as I'd rather be drawing, and you'd be pretty awesome. Pretty set.
Definitely.
A little. Cool. And then the art stuff will be kind of, we'll see. I know you're always making stuff, so I know you're going to do something, but you want to kind of leave that because you want to just focus on the design?
Well, I'll finish my commission for sure, coloring the commission I'm working on, and I'll probably post it. I for some reason, got in the habit of not posting commissions, because a lot of the commissions I first did were like presents and stuff, and so like you don't want to be the guy who like, it's a present for my wife who also follows you. And then you post it, and then you're like, oh, that's cool. I love that character. And you're like, oh, it's actually for you. My bad. But the ones I've been doing lately have just been like people's D&D characters. And so then like there's no reason why I couldn't post that. Kind of like this thing I'm doing here where he's like, he wears his scarf up over the chin part of his mask, almost like it got damaged or something, maybe.
Ah. I just brought up, did you ever read that short story in grade school where a woman wore a scarf around her neck her entire life and never took it off and never told her husband why she wore it until she was on her deathbed, and she told her husband that he could remove the scarf now if he wanted to, I think, and he removed it and her head fell off?
No.
It's not supposed to be a funny story, you weirdo.
Wait, really?
Well, I think it's like a scary story for kids, or like a thriller for like.
I thought it was supposed to be sort of like a.
But no, it is pretty funny. And then her head fell off. Wow.
Well, I thought it felt like a punchline, almost like a surprise.
And then her head fell off. Yeah, it was kind of like that. Only usually people are horrified when their loved ones' heads fall off, but you know.
Yeah, that's true.
That's just humans. It's cool.
So I forgot about that in terms of the excitement for my week. I got really confused at what I was doing because I was like, why didn't I get anything done like Thursday or Friday night? Like, even though I had the week free. Forgot for the first time ever, I played Dungeons and Dragons with some friends. And that was hilarious and like a blast. And so I have just come to the realization that I am just the world's biggest nerd because we've already scheduled to play again.
Sounds like fun, man. I have
it's like a really cool. It's kind of like that thing we talk about of like letting yourself get out there and experience and kind of play with new things. Like it was a really fun sort of. It's almost like I was playing a story. I mean, that's what it is, right? Mm-hmm. And then I don't know. It felt like a thing that almost is like a great exercise in like playing somebody else's story too, right? Because it was like that's how that works. Like somebody else runs you through it and you make decisions and stuff. Because like half of story writing, especially for comics, is like, okay, here's the conflict and here's the situation I put my character into. How does he get out of that kind of thing? And so there was like a fun moment of like one or two times where like, you know, someone wanted to do this, but he was like, oh, you do that, but this happens. And then you're like, oh my gosh. And then it was like, that's pretty clever. I like that. So I'm excited for a new adventure, literally, in my life of like a fun way of being inspired with like a different way of telling stories.
Very cool, dude. I love it. I'm glad you got to do that. I'm glad you told us about it. I've got some friends at work who are kind of starting an enterprise of running D&D groups and then like renting out themselves for like parties and like one-nighters and things like what you experienced for folks were like, I've always kind of wanted to, but never really, you know, I don't know how to, but have somebody show up who's like got characters and
like professional DM who just like has everything ready for them to play.
Yeah, it's quite genius, I think.
That is a really good idea because I would say the most complicated part of it all is like character creation and like understanding what the heck your character is even like allowed to do and stuff. So that is actually like
for like it's been hosted at like local bars and stuff where strangers just show up and they have like a few different tables going with a few different DMs. So Gear Gaming 360, I believe if you guys search that, Gear Gaming 360, they're kind of local to the area, but if you just kind of want to see what they're doing, I think it's a pretty awesome idea for folks who are into that sort of thing. But before we derail too far, we've got your goals. I've got them written down all nice and in a line here. So I've got to figure out what I'm going to get done for the next week. Let's see here. Comics, it's generic, but I'm still writing. I'm still just getting the whole story figured out. So I know it's a generic thing, and you've heard me saying it a while now, but now that I know my structure, I think things are going to be going a little bit smoother because now I can go to each individual scene. I've been kind of like trying to figure out how to like write the whole thing so that now I can kind of go back and figure out the little parts. So I suppose I'm just going to keep going on that. I suppose there's a specific thing I'll talk about. So the first scene, start at the beginning. I want to have that like try to like really script that out with like dialogue and this happens and then that happens. Probably a rough draft, but still. So scene one done. For art, I have 2 commissions left. One, the guy's been sick, so he hasn't been at work, and he hasn't been returning calls, so he's been like really sick. And I'm doing a portrait of his daughter for that commission. So I'll probably wait till I see him again. So I'm not sure when that is. And the other one is a portrait of a real human as well. So these two might require a little bit more time and making sure things are a little bit more perfect.
Don't
So
those jerks know you like to draw comics? What are they doing to you?
I know, I know. I should have been more specific when I said I'll draw one commission for you. I don't know what I said, but I didn't think it meant portraits. Anyway, I was just like, sure, why not?
Right. You gotta stay true to the promise. You get weird like that, then it's like, oh, why'd you even promise me something if it was only if this, that?
I know, right? And I had just done a couple kind of portrait, like I had done a self-portrait and then one of this other guy, so it'll be fun. The daughter one I'm a little bit worried about. The other one's like a rock star guy that he likes. I'm not too worried about that one, but still takes a while. So I'm gonna one of those commissions completely done by next week. So penciled, inked, everything, commission done. That at least I think just have one left to get done for that. And then I can go back to doing my fan art kind of crossover series, which I got my Gorillas and Bone character one inked completely, which I posted, but I'd like to do more in those series. So anyway, for the art, get that commission done. For I'd rather be drawing, I'm really excited about these t-shirt designs. So I think I'm going to pick one or two and really try to make them look nice and scan them in. So I guess that just two designs ready to scan.
Like that. Yeah, I'm really excited about this idea of I need to get in on that too when I have the brain power to think about it, because a couple different we should do a cool, like, if you do what you got to do, and I love that you're willing to do all this research of it, because you're way more, you're like really driven. You've been talking this for a really long time to like make these t-shirts happen, you know? But like almost artist series, like me and you both do some kind of like cool mashup thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then it's the design that says I'd rather be drawing underneath it or something.
I thought it'd be really funny to like do one where we do a t-shirt, like just one for you and one for me, where it has the logo and then just our face on it, and wear it to Comic Cons, or the one where we're going to be there together, wear like the other person's, and then
I wear your face on mine, yeah.
I don't know. It's stupid enough to work. But yeah, and the one that's just like our logo and everything, but you know, we don't have to have all these printed these days. People can choose from and go, yeah, I want it with this color ink on this color shirt or whatever. I don't know. Got to figure it out.
Nowadays, like from all the research I've done about t-shirts, it's like you do not stock your own t-shirts. Like you use like a website, and then they get made on demand, and you get less money for them. But then, like this, I hear the horrors of people talk about where like they did t-shirts and then they never got rid of their extra smalls. Like they still have t-shirts in their basement from the years ago when they used to sell t-shirts, kind of thing.
Right.
Because like it's such a specific thing. Like, yeah, 3 people want to buy a t-shirt, but you have to buy their size, and so if you buy them in bulk, then you got to worry about buying the right sizes and stuff.
Yeah, it's just not worth it. And then with something like that, you design one shirt and then just go with that. But with this, you know, like I said, it's also a fun exercise in logo design and font design.
Yeah.
And me just learning how to just do this stuff on a computer and not just in a sketchbook, you know, how to translate that, even if for my rough around the edges look or whatever, that's fine, but it's still got to go from the page to a computer to a t-shirt. So learn that process, and I think that'll help a lot of my other aspects of learning the computer stuff. So yeah, 2 designs scanned in for the t-shirt. And back to the art thing, I had the one commission, but I want to keep going on. I don't want to just like that, you know, the art kind of goes into like the business of side of it as well and everything. So approaching that, I kind of have started my list of local conventions, but I want to narrow that down a little bit more and really, you know, what days are these? How much does it cost to do? Really kind of start figuring out with some logistics and maybe pick like, okay, pick 3 conventions. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pick 3 conventions to shoot for, to really kind of, you know, submit a request and all that sort of an application. That's what I want. Anyway, kind of all over the place, but that's where my brain's been now that I'm like really excited about this stuff, because it's not just one aspect, like just the comic book or just this project I'm excited about. I'm really excited about like all of it, and that's kind of translating, I think, over into other aspects of my life as well, and just really kind of wanting to be a better version of me, you know, as an artist and
As an artist, yeah.
husband and human, and you know, all that sort of good stuff.
Aw, you got real sentimental there.
Ah, you got to add a little heart. My wife's moving over there.
To my design, you mean, or what?
Yeah,
Just add a heart.
that heart. You got to for a good story. It's got to be compelling.
You gotta be a real boy.
Man, and just that's why I think it's a good idea we just sort of did the art check as the topic tonight, because we're almost through to the hour, and it's just been like our excitement about this stuff. So maybe the title for tonight's is just, I'm so excited.
Feel the excitement in the air. You can hear it. You can hear it in the tone of my voice. I'm so excited.
I can hear it coming in the air tonight. Hold on. Hold on.
Hold on. Hold on.
Hey, Ronnie says he's in St. Louis. Hey, Ronnie, go to the top of the arch, shout real loud towards the west, and wave. And David,
I'll probably hear
go
you
out on your rooftop in Kansas City there.
on my rooftop. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that should do it. Kansas City, like, geographically is much higher than St. Louis, so that's why you need the arch. I don't know.
Then wait, so if I need to get down low then, right?
No, that's why you just go on top of your house instead of like on top of the arch. This is science. Don't worry about it. Just listen to me. All right. Anyway, hope you're having a good time there in St. Louis, man. It's a good city. Anyway, do you have any other stuff or topics or anything, man? Or are you just excited about getting back to comics?
I'm really excited to get back into my comic. Yeah, I didn't give up on that other paper, but I went back to clean up some of these. These are the other drawings. This is my other two characters that were from the first book that I've kind of played with the designs for when they're kids, when they're older, when they're young, kind of thing. And that's kind of like what it is. Like this is them as like kids, the like the bigger head, bigger masks kind of thing. That's another fun little thing about that you learn in the inside. That's not spoiler either. It's just a fun part of the world. But like when you're younger, you get like a different mask and you grow into it, kind of thing. And then like at a certain age, you like get a new mask that grows with you the rest of your life, or new suit. Like it's a full, because they're called bodysuits, and they like refer to that a little bit in the first one. So there's like a fun, like when they're kids, they get to almost completely redesign their character, and I love that.
Like robot puberty.
Yeah, exactly. It is. It's like a robot puberty thing, and it's a fun.
Hey, you are a man.
The maker gives you a new mask, and you have to go to the maker, and the maker decides like if there's any characteristics that they think you've grown into or up with that your mask should change because of.
Hey, I got a question here from I Am Legend that says, who's your favorite person from DC? Do you think that means creator or character?
Should we do both?
I think we should.
Because I'm a little embarrassed of like I don't really even know who I would say from DC in terms of creators, because I like follow it enough, but I don't know if I could just throw out a name. I guess if I was talking about artist, I think he does the Knight's Metal. It's like Jonathan Pelago, I think is how you say his name.
Gotcha. I'm not sure.
It's like a really, really cool ink style. My favorite character is Swamp Thing, and always will be and always has been.
I'm loving, and I think he just won. Yeah, he just won an Eisner for his work on Descender or Ascender. I forget which part specifically, but Dustin Nguyen, I believe is how you pronounce it.
What does he do for DC?
So he's done a lot of pinups and everything, but he did like the Gotham. Like the, I forget the title of it.
I did not know. So his like
it's like a Gotham Academy or something like that. But he's done bits of work throughout a lot of different stuff. And honestly, more than like a specific book that he's working on, I love like what he does with watercolor medium.
Yeah, I didn't know there was an.
And he takes from independent stuff into the mainstream, which I think is awesome. Plus, when he does his like Robin and Superboy and takes on that stuff, I really always love those characters, and so my answer as far as character goes, man, you might think I'm lame, but I've always loved Batman, and one of the reasons I've always loved Batman is Robin. And I'm really digging the current Robin. I like the whole family aspect of it, and the whole kit and caboodle. But Damian Wayne, I think, is pretty badass. He's always been fun to read. So
Yeah, I did not know that his beautiful watercolor style was featured in a DC book. I like love his style. I literally picked up a Descender because of it.
yeah, it's beautiful work, and like that's what he got. Yeah, his artwork is what he got the Eisner for. I forget on which project exactly, but yeah, getting to see his stuff. Like he's done really cool, and he'll end up doing a lot of kind of like Scotty Young for Marvel some years back. He's done a lot of. Dustin has done a lot of variants and different projects like that, just all throughout DC, because it's like people can't get enough of his stuff. But I think it was Gotham Academy or something like that. I didn't read a bunch of them. They were cool, but like I said, the artwork specifically, anything he touches is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love it. It's this thing that I know I'll never be able to do, and I think that's why I appreciate it so much. But people who can do that, like, it's messy, but it's beautiful, and it's structured and it's clean, but it's not like that thing that fine line right between it. Like I've never been that kind of style. Like I peck at thin little lines, and for a while I played with like big, thick, bold lines, and like I always go back and forth. But like I gotta have structure and form, and he ends up with that. With like I've seen him work actually. Like he always posts on his Instagram like little like time lapses, and it's like he's just you can just see him like making a mess on the paper, and all of a sudden it's like beautiful, and you're like, what the heck?
I know. It's like a sick, twisted magic trick.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's the thing that just comes with years and years and years of mastering a craft, and he's definitely he's got it.
For sure. Thanks for the question. Do appreciate it. Anytime you guys got them, send them to us. If you're watching this after the fact or any of the episodes, and you have a question for us or a topic that you think would be awesome or something that we should talk about, drop it in the comment section. Let us know. We love to hear about it, and we're totally game to talk about it. Like I said, appreciate you guys joining us tonight. Another reason why I definitely recommend finding a partner for an art check, whether it's a group to commit to, or sometimes it's nice to just find one other person who you know is driven and will be able to be there and check in on a weekly basis, so you can kind of be held accountable. Because I think David and I would both be working on our projects if we didn't have this, but I know for sure it's an extra motivator sometimes to just see, let me push a little bit further, let me get a little bit more done so I can talk about it on the show tonight. I got to keep up. David does turn out a lot of work and works really hard, so it's fun to try to keep up with that. So I appreciate that, man. Being here, David, and yeah, everyone find a friend, an accountability buddy, something. I think I've heard that around.
I like how you had to put a spin on it. You couldn't just say accountability partner. It had to be something fun.
No, I'm pretty sure that got mentioned a couple times in 48-hour art check. They're like, no, I'm stupid. And I'm like, that sounds great.
Accountability buddy or accountability partner?
Accountability buddy sounds good. Don't be dumb. All right, man. Unless you got anything else to say, where can we find you?
Yeah, just like I've been saying, man, get on that Instagram, Art of Mr. Fleming. You spell my name Fleming with one M. It seems like everybody assumes two M's, and I've had a lot of people having a hard time finding me when I say my name because of that. But get on that Instagram, follow it. I post Monday, Wednesday, Friday of every week, and then sometimes in between. Yeah, I'm just follow the comics, follow the illustration, and all the good stuff. But a lot of times on here, I mostly end up talking about the personal work because that's what this is for. But I just am constantly in a stream of drawing things I love and creating illustrations. And it's like that thing we talk about all the time, which is it always moves myself back into learning something new to put into the comic later and kind of play with that and just ever evolving art. One of the artists that I kind of met through that, who like I'm always messaging stuff through on Instagram. He made this comment today on my thing, and I was like, it's super real. It's like I just love art so much because I'm literally always going to be in a state of learning something new from it, and I just kind of love that. So, how about you? Where are we going to find you?
Well, first off, thank you, Squatchy Inc. in the chats. Accountability is from Butter's episode on South Park.
Oh.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it, the info. But yeah, when I'm not here, find me on Instagram, Mr. Green Draws. The links are down below. Yeah, I think that covers it. Thank you guys very much for joining us. We appreciate you coming by on I'd Rather Be Motivated to check on how we're doing, and post your links below too so we can check on how you guys are doing. Let's keep this community growing. Thanks very much.
I realized as you were talking and doing your thing, I was doing some cleanup with my electric eraser, and I was just like, I didn't know if you could hear that.
You're such a dork.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Share it out. Tell your friends how much fun it is to watch us and follow our stuff. And we'll catch you next week. Peace. Oh, I always do opposite. I always try to go this way, and then because of the mirrored image, I go the wrong way. All right. Peace.